Alright, hello everyone, and welcome back to our Urby Derby campaign in Battletech Advanced 3062. Today we're doing a type of mission I don't usually do that often, a capture base mission, and we've been dropped in, well, right on target for once. So we're dropped in basically right on top of the capture point, which is potentially more of an issue than I would have immediately suspected. So we are fielding the improved Marauder 5M that we were working on last Friday in that mech bay sort of episode. We also have only one Phalanx battle armor, as our other pilot is still in sickbay. And we have a couple problems. So first of those is a quad PPC turret, there is a quad large laser turret, there is a standard shredder turret carrying an AC-20, and another quad PPC turret. There's so much firepower here in turrets alone that it's quite scary. I mean, one of those quad PPC turrets could theoretically one-shot an entire battle armor by landing each one at different hit locations. A little bit of a scare story, probably not going to happen, but, well, it's nothing we want to take. There are also two Orions, one Oni-1 MA and one Oni-1 MB, of which the MA seems to be the more deadly configuration. At least the more classical configuration. And the Roughneck over here on the left seems to be a bit of a periphery build, double mag shot rifle, double light AC-5, as well as finally Catapult C4, which is of course the classic double LRM-20 carrier. So we have a lot to deal with, and we're going to try to avoid getting shot while doing it. So the first thing we're going to do is reserve down to 8, just because that's for free. Ordinarily I'd reserve all the way down, but, well, these turrets don't have any evasion. They will start shooting at us on Initiative 6. However, if we move before then, we'll get first initiative on 6. If we just reserve down, we'll go second, right? So I have priority right now. If I reserve down to 7, I will have pass priority, the enemy will go, I'll reserve. Actually, no, there's 2 there. I might be able to get away with it. Let's give it a shot. There's of course no benefit in shooting at the enemy mechs, but I would like to point out that 2 heavy mechs are moving at initiative 7, which means that their pilots have increased initiative, or their hardware is giving them bonuses to initiative, which is something that is a little bit terrifying. So we're going to reserve to 6. This gives us access to most of our heavily armed mechs. A little bit of glitch in there, sorry. And the double LRM-20 is, for the first turn anyway, rather ineffective, but I don't want that catapult to have a nice rear fire arc with that much firepower on our mechs, so we're going to have to do something about it. First things first, so we could come up here and take that nice rear angle shot on their Oni-1 MA, but I think the better thing to do is, okay, so let's do the math here. 300 armor on this guy, so we have to do 312 points worth of damage. It's not possible for us to do it with just the Marauder. We'll do 200, and that's if we hit with everything. So do I have a mech that can actually bust through that in one go? Let's see. So we have SRM-20 on these guys, which would be 20 times 8, so that's 10 times 16. That's not going to cut it either. I'm not sure I do, to be honest. We don't have the sort of clan weaponry that we usually do. Well, actually, you know what? The Ostrak might be able to pull it off, but he moves on 5. Okay, well, you know what? We're just going to have to try and reserve through it. Oh, geez. That AC-20 shell landed directly into our Wolverine, and we've got 2 terrain pieces on fire from the Shredder turret. Large laser actually hits the large Shredder turret as well and misses the rest of us, I think. Maybe might have been some fire in the Dervish, a little hard to tell. Quad PPCs coming in and miss. Of course, we do have 8 evasion pips on everybody from not having moved yet, which is why I reserved. Oh, god. Okay. And the Phalanx battle armor somehow avoids getting completely killed in one go. Nice. Let's try move up here with the Ostrak, get the coil online, because that will be a lot of single punch damage. We can actually fire 6 evasion pips while firing the ER mediums as well, so let's go ahead and go for it. That is some very nice damage. Not enough to bore through it, but enough to allow us to bore through it with other things. So let's take the Wolverine as an example. Come up here, well, need more evasion than that, so let's come up here for 5 points of evasion. Very nice. And we are on fire, but somehow still able to shoot in a volley. Missing the second large laser might cost us. But no, we do actually manage to take that thing down. I'm most worried about the PPCs and the AC-20 shells. We have one of those PPC turrets gone. You know, our Centurion might actually be best used handling this catapult. It is a high priority target. Let's see what we can do. 50 damage to a leg, not bad. Lost evasive. That's what I like to see, and very nice. So that is a mech down as well. Well, 5 salvageable parts. We did take this for salvage. I believe I took 419 or so. So we could potentially make pretty good use of that. And let's see. So another way to avoid getting hit is to avoid line of sight. So we're going to back the dervish down a hill and fire in. I was hoping for a kill. There's a little bit lighter armor on that standard shredder turret than there was on the other turrets, so I was optimistic, but doesn't look like it. So we'll move the phalanx battle armor around, and I think this we can get done with just the King David's. Should be more than enough firepower going in. Yeah, and that way we can save those SRM-4 volleys for something a little bit later on. So we have now Trash Can, and we have Edmund and the Urbulam left to us. 2 deadly turrets left, and 2 deadly mechs left on the board. So I think what we'll do, we do need evasion. I do want to prioritize the quad PPC turret, so we'll come up here. This will put us in a good position for next turn, hopefully. And let's see if we can open up. I only have cluster on here, 20 rounds, which is way excessive. I need 1 cluster, 1 slug. But things I don't have, so shoot in. Pretty good damage. Yeah, that's not a bad point to be at for right now. And let's get on the move. Those hazard signs, I believe, are going to be our most likely our evac point. Okay. Shooting in. Oh no, that wasn't enough. Okay, that's a problem. I was relying on getting that other kill. Plan for next turn. Long-range missiles going into Phalanx battle armor. A little bit terrifying there, just because of the high odds to land some chip damage. Only 1 missile landing in, so I'm feeling quite good about that. And more. I shouldn't have said anything. But still, only 2 LRM shots going in, both dealing 3 damage instead of their natural 4, due to our not exceptional, but at least acceptable damage mitigation values. So, Chancellor in the battle armor is going to pop his shielded stance and make a run up the board. The 50% damage resist effectively doubles the amount of armor we have in each location, which means they're at least relatively robust to taking a hit. And we are going to go in, this time with the SRM-4s, I believe, on that quad PPC turret. And King David's running off, but I didn't want to risk it. Well, this is what we get for trying to cover our bases a little bit too thoroughly, so there can be problems from doing that every once in a while. Anyway, I'm gonna go for a slight height advantage and 7. You know what? Much as I'd love to shoot this guy, that's some pretty thick rear armor, and I think we'd be better off doing a bit of a sensor lock on the only 1 MA. Taking him down to nothing should be able to let us get some pretty good hits going on. And I think that guy and the other turret are our priorities for this round. Those 2 light Gausses are scary, but they really don't deal all that much damage. And Viper, our relatively newer pilot, is able to shrug off a hit to the cockpit. Looks like it was only light. Yeah, that would have been from an LRM round. MRM round, I apologize. So, luckily no long-lasting damage done. And while I have just said what our 2 priorities would be, this guy, this roughneck moving up so close gives me ideas. But still, I think the turret does have to be our priority. Let's see what we can get out of, well... So he's moving on this turn, that's 212 damage we'd have to go through. Can't do it with the Ostrak, because we don't have the movement there. We might be able to do it with Dervish if we pop Battle Lord, so let's give that a try. see if we can take a little bit of the incoming damage this turn offline. So, up Battlelord, this increases our accuracy and our damage per shot. And yeah, that is enough to take that turret offline, which is what I like to see. Okay, so we have 3 enemies left. We still have to capture the zone. There might be enemy reinforcements after we capture the zone. So we'll have to kind of wait and see. Can I get a rear shot? No, I cannot. Okay, well that's fine. I'm gonna move the Ostrok up around here. Lots of evasion, so if we look, well, it's a hilariously high amount of heat. So we're gonna just fire away with, I believe, just the coil. I want to sink a little bit of heat, get a little bit better alpha strike when we're in a better position. And that's unfortunately a miss, even with that high accuracy. It does happen from time to time, a little bit unfortunate for us, and that does change priorities, I think, to the Roughneck. So we're going to move back here, and at least the cluster should land some damage. Double binary laser, I have high hopes. 1, 2, okay. Well, that was a little bit just... that was a little odd, I guess. Yeah, I mean, we pounded lots of damage through. Roughneck, of course, has the rugged trait, which means that it's an absolute bear getting through all of that armor. We're going to move the Wolverine to get a little bit better damage, well, not damage resistance, evasion anyway. And we could try, I mean, there's no reason not to fire in here. I think we will try and cool off just a little bit. Drop one of the ER larges. Very nice. And finally, a Ridgehound and the Centurion. That is an interesting prospect. We might be able to get a rear ankle shot here with the Centurion, coming up from its recent kill on that catapult, of course. Pretty bad accuracy. The height difference is going to do that. Enemy effects, yeah, we sprinted, of course. And obstructed for +2. Yeah, that's a lot of bad modifiers. We still landed the slug somehow, and lots of damage. Angel ECM destroyed, which is too bad. I was hoping to pick that up. Electronic countermeasures are always worthwhile if you have the free tonnage anyway. And our Phalanx battle armor is able to shrug off a couple light hits, generally avoid the rest. Let's see if you can keep that up with the only 1 MB. Oh, he was going after the Marauder instead, so we are narked. Means that follow-up missiles will have an easier time hitting trash can, which is not something I had wanted. But let's see what we can do. On initiative 10, we might be able to kill the Roughneck if we get some good crits. I'm not sure if he has ammunition in there. We'll have to take a second look. Not that it really matters once we pull the trigger anyway, because we are, of course, committed at this point. So let's focus up and take a look. No, I mean, there's an XL engine, there's a TSM. I've already critted out the Angel ECM, so just go ahead and shoot it. That looked okay, and yeah, the Roughneck's going down. Only one salvageable part, kind of to be expected, coring out a mech from behind like that. We got lucky with the 5 pieces from the catapult. Still actually not sure how that really worked, but no, I won't argue with it, so there's that. And now that we have just the 2 Orions left moving on 4, we can actually go just reserve all the way down and try to blow off something nice. So I would go here, but that's dropship inbound, which means we could just blow up our own mech for it. So unfortunately, our evac location is blocking us from a potential mech kill. Never something you want to see. And what can we do with the Wolverine? I mean, that's a nice side angle shot anyway, so let's go ahead and take it. Unfortunately, no precision strikes quite yet. Usually we have a turn or two sort of closing into range where we're technically in combat, so you'll get points toward a precision strike without really facing the full danger, but not this time. So let's see, can I get a rear shot? On this side? No, because of the same problem. The dropship inbound is just being a little bit of a bear for us. So instead we're going to go up here into the woods, turn around, and let's see what we can do. 74, 68, let's go here. And we do, of course, mess with one of the binary lasers. We do get extra pay for not destroying buildings, but, I mean, we didn't really take this one for much pay, so I'm not sure I put very much stock in that actually giving us buckets of money. More to the point, we don't want to pay the fee for having broken many of them. So, when in doubt, run right up in their face and use lots of short-range missiles. So let's do that right now with the Dervish. Looks like one of the medium lasers did go a little bit wide, and we're going through... we're boring through these Orions the hard way, which is why it's taking so long, despite the small sheer number, I guess, of Op4 remaining. So, Ostrock, only 4 evasion pips. The coil will be relatively cool. We can actually overload 120 points of damage into one hit location. Wish it would tell me what it was on standard mode. Would that be enough to kill on its own? It would not. Try. I think we get more damage out of this than we do on the overload, but less accuracy, so we only get this damage if we manage to land the ER mediums. On the other hand, we could very well rip off a side torso piece. No, because it won't be quite enough. Okay, let's just fire in here. Yeah. Well, we tried our hardest, and that is some pretty solid damage there. But unfortunately not enough to get the kill. Story of our lives at the moment here, and let's go... Yeah, that looks good. Very well. Now we will, I think, try... This guy, we're going to stay on slugs. I don't want to kill that building behind him with missed cluster rounds. And okay, we're starting to make our way through. There's a role, I guess, like Thug, for example, Battle Mech, that's a, quote, zombie mech. The idea is it just doesn't die. And because of that, even if it's not the most effective firing platform on the board, you can get good, I guess, work out of it by having it eat your opponent's fire while your other mechs take care of business. And this Orion is making me think of this right now, because we're just pounding into him, pounding into him, pounding into him. And if we were doing this while the Catapult and the Roughneck were providing fire support, that would be, that would be a really good thing. So, well, for them, not for us. So it does have a niche, and our Phalanx Battle Armor does take a little bit of a hit from the Orion. Thankfully, he didn't go in for any sort of melee attack. And now it's the other one's turn. He's kind of moving away. Looks like that's a kick going on the Wolverine. 75 points of damage, 1 for each and every time. Orion is a little scary. We're also pretty... Actually, we're over our instability threshold.
I've got eyes on hostile reinforcements. They're heading your way.
So we secured the LZ, but there are enemy reinforcements coming in. And by coming in, I mean they're already here. So they dropped in. Looks like Catapult, Icarus 2, Marauder 3M, not quite as deadly as our own. And there's another Oni 1 MB. So killing these guys just became absolutely critical. It needs to happen on this turn. No excuses, no ifs, ands, or buts, because if it doesn't, we are in a world of hurt. So, what can we do here that isn't just straight up suicidal? Okay, that's more exposed than I would like, but at least it's only for 1, not 2, out of SRM rounds. But I'm hoping, maybe, we can use Vigilance to inspire everyone else. And let's land those King Davids in here, shall we? Sounds impressive. 2 engine crits but no kill. So not as impressive as it sounded. And reserving down to 8. We need to move the Urbulam to get that kill, but I'm not going to do it until after the reinforcements have moved, at least that Marauder, because I don't want to expose our Urbulam to counter fire. That works. Here's the Marauder. Shooting at our own, who was in a bad position because I wasn't expecting any reinforcements from that side. Thankfully, we have a hill right next to us. We can very easily shift the field a little bit and hopefully get some good fire support going on our end. That Icarus 2 is an AC-10, relatively long range, but I'm not super worried about it. So instead, let's go here. Works. 3 evasion pips is not phenomenal, but something. So open fire. And that's a dead Orion. 5 salvageable parts. I'll probably look to pick that one up. I think that one was the build that I preferred. Yes, the MA, not the MB. Very well. Okay. So we'll pop Vigilance here as well, sink the instability. Probably a good use of time. And then Have we done... We've not done any damage to that rear arc, but chewing through. Is there an XL engine? Yes, there is, which means if we kill that side torso, this mech is gone. So, we're going to move right here. 36 points away from killing this guy. Let's see if we can pull it off. Little close range to the LRMs, but we get the kill. Very well. This is why you don't put XL engines in something that needs to take a lot of fire. Okay, so that's the initial mechs. The initial enemy lance down. Centurion's taking a lot of fire there. That was the AC-10 slug coming in and landing successfully, which is a bit of an issue. We've lost evasive, and I was hoping, well, we don't even have enough, resolve to do that. Now, I was hoping to get a little bit of a vigilance popped on this guy. Let's go up to this height advantage. We'll sink a little bit of instability by virtue of walking instead of running, and shoot in, see if we can get a little bit of revenge on that Icarus. Firing slug mode, because we do have 99.1% chance to hit, and he has full armor. Structure exposed off the bat. Is that a head hit? Oh, I would love that. Yeah. Head hit, of course, 3 points from dead, and it's going to be, well, relatively unlikely that we actually head cap that mech. But still, I think we've appropriately sent a message, as they say. That's not horrible, but it's not great. I'd like to save the vigilance if I could for precision strike, but we don't necessarily need it. Yeah, we don't need it. Okay, so here's the answer. We're going to go get as much height as we can, as much evasion as we can. We're going to pop vigilance here to sink the instability that we didn't drop because we sprinted, and use that height advantage, which is right now giving us -4 to the difficulty of the hit, to absolutely smack this Icarus, hopefully. And of course we miss one of the binary lasers, only landing one at 99.1% chance, and I seem to recall saying that same thing in a mission not too long ago. It should only happen one time out of 100. So, never tell me the odds, I suppose, is the answer. Pretty good shot on the Icarus from here. Only one tip of evasion. I'm going to intentionally draw some fire here with the Dervish. We are going to do vigilance. That gives us a brace as well, increasing our overall damage resistance. And let's just send a little bit of a message over here to this Marauder 3M that we're not his biggest fan, and we want him to be unstable and just taking tons of fire on the next round or two. So, Catapult moving up, taking the bait as expected. Dervish, that looks like a bit more of a... oh, jeez. Head hit, pilot injured. That time that missile made its mark, so LRM shot to the dome piece, deals 3 points of damage, but puts my pilot, Max, back in the mech bay. Not mech bay, sick bay, I suppose. Let's see what we can do. We need to be in short range to use the coil. So we're going to come down here and make that work. 7 pips of evasion. This coil is going to be running real toasty. Probably won't have much heat left for anything else. And indeed, yeah, we can barely make it. So I am going to do a precision strike. I want to slow this Marauder down, moving on 6. Very nice structure exposed. Looks like we gave this guy a bit of a pegged leg. 2 points left on that leg. It was very disappointing. If we had knocked him down, we wouldn't need to shoot him again next turn to slow him down to initiative 6, or even 5. But, oh well, that's what we got. And let's take the Phalanx Battle Armor. I like that height advantage with something so fragile, so we'll try and keep it and get evasion pips if we can, which looks like that means here. This is time to do a shielded stance and shoot in. King David, if I can get you in a single shot to the leg. But no. Instead we did just pound that instability damage from the King David Gausses right into that Marauder. It's not exactly going to make him very happy. The smalls need to be a little closer. There we go. Now, I think... okay, so we don't have a precision strike here either. So we just need one hit to the leg. There it is. Legs down, pilot's bleeding out. We did get another head hit on the wrong mech, not the Icarus 2, that's so close to dead from getting head capped. And that Marauder is down on his butt, moving at initiative 5, which works very well for me. Icarus 2, looks like that shell landed in my battle armor. which I'm not very happy about. Icarus is doing a lot of good work. And let's see, is it worth going up here? Yes, it is. So we'll just double and triple down on the height advantage and try and make up for missing this 99.1% chance of last turn. 1, 2. Yeah, that was nice. We landed both and the cluster. Side angle shot meant that it didn't go into the CT, which would have been a better use of our ammunition, of course. Oh well, can't do anything about it now. And we have choices. Do we wait for 6 to shoot at that Marauder, or do we try and core out the Icarus that is so close to dead? And I think the answer with the Wolverine anyway, because we can bring all his guns online. The Icarus isn't moving until next round. Will be the Marauder. Is there an XL engine in here? No, standard engine, so killing that side torso won't kill the mech, but it will bring his guns offline, at least some of them, so we're going to go for it. Yeah, okay, so pilot incapacitated. Force salvageable parts is more than I expected, not that we're looking for another Marauder since we have one on the field, one in storage. We don't exactly need another, and I think now we're going to try to get a little bit of revenge for the Dervish. We're just going to sit still. Maybe not my best decision ever, but hey Icarus. I like them apples. I'm genuinely surprised that mech is still alive, and okay, power eject. Not the kill I was hoping for, but I mean, it is a kill, so that works for me. We're going to move down here to make these guys a little bit farther apart, plus we do keep that good, good firing angle from being so far up on the hill. And, okay, which one of these is more deadly? Double LRM-15, LRM-20, like Gauss, Narc Launcher. I'd like to get around. I think we have a good flanking position on the Orion. We don't really have one on the catapult, so let's fire away. Yeah, decent damage. Especially for the relative tonnages. This is really not bad. We're going to let the Ostrock sit. Reason being is if the Orion moves up and we can get any sort of flanking shot on him, then we'll be more effective for it with that coil, especially because we will run into the water, get us a little bit additional cooling, potentially be able to overcharge that coil itself. Let's see. 5 evasion pips is the best I can do. We do move a little bit slower in the water, so that's kind of to be expected. And let's take a look here. 95. Of course, we can't bring the coil on the catapult; he's too far away. And if I overload, I'm gonna push the red line just a little bit. I fire everything else. Yeah, that's beautiful. I can fire the coil and all 4 of these here mediums. 79 to 80, so I mean, we get more damage out of it than if we were overloading the coil. Probably not the best optimization problem there in terms of the coil's performance versus its heat generation on the overload setting, but I don't think it's meant to be. I think it's more meant to be a, well, you're maybe about to die, you're just trying to get out a little bit of last damage, trying to turn things around, desperation move. Fire everything at once, like that bad guy did in, what was that, Star Trek movie, where fire everything, and then, you know, they used all their missiles, and they all got intercepted because he's an idiot. And you don't fire everything at once with no ammunition in reserves at the beginning of a fight. Anyway. Maybe not the best idea here. It looks like our coil actually went into... Oh no, that is the right torso. We did shoot up the right arm here for 50 points, even though we had a rear angle shot. And some light smattering of damage to that rear arc is not the worst either. So let's get Chancellor. I think I want you to move. We'll get 2 evasion pips on you for that. And who is the better target here? Well, we really do have a nice flank on the Orion. Let's just keep pounding away at the catapult. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Structure exposed means that was a good decision. It is just an arm, but even so. Stand here, Marauder, and use a precision strike. I want this guy moving farther down the list than he currently is. 1, 2. We do definitely need the slugs on the LBX AC-10. So far, the bore through and exploit with the LBX AC-10 is not as effective as I had maybe hoped it would be. Well, you live and you learn, right? We're being a little bit lazy, just standing still. It would come back to bite us if there was more on the way, but I think these two will be the last mechs in the enemy op 4, and I'm hoping to take them down sooner rather than later. So let's go up here, get a nice direct fire shot on the catapult, and there it is. The LRM-20s can't take this guy out with that many exposed portions, or at least get a fair number of crits. I'll be very sad. Oh, the laser takes something out, and just to follow up. Well, he's not dead, but I don't know. When you have more internal structure left than you do anything else, I think I would at least consider punching out, and this should finish him off. I mean, hey, they did better than the first catapult they had on the field, so I guess that's an accomplishment. Maybe? Question mark? Yeah. Well, nothing we can do about it now. Nothing he can do about it now either, so we're going to... Can I get 4? Yes. I can get 4. I want the most evasion pips I can on this Ostrock. We might even be able to overcharge since we have... Yeah, we can overcharge and light up everything and still not get that much heat. It does jam right into a leg from the rear arc. I'm trying to core this guy out from his rear armor arc, and it's just not going there. We hit his arm, we hit his leg, we hit everything except for what's directly in front of our faces, as is always the way of it. So, one mech left. Shouldn't be all that much longer, I think, given that we're all going to move before he can. So let's just reserve down to 5. See if we can get the Ostrock to be useful. I mean, it's a great idea with the coil, but it really hasn't been performing up to my expectations, especially the last little bit, where it just doesn't seem to be that... It's all about hit location, right? If I jam 120 damage into the wrong hit location, it doesn't really do me any good. We need to make productive work on each roll. Like that one. It's a wonderful location, wonderful use of SRMs, and for less heat as well. So that is the mission. Stick around if you want to see the salvage, and we should be right to that screen. A couple interesting choices today too, so I am looking forward to it quite a bit. Research station under control, and here we go.
Successful.
Okay, so... Alright, that's actually really wonderful. Because we didn't kill any of those buildings, we did get a decent payday. Very nice. Over a million. Over a million C-bills is very nice on top of 4 salvage pieces. Catapult CPLT C4. RM20s. Okay, don't really want either of those. Don't really want the Marauder. It was the only one MA, I believe I was looking for. Narc removed, allow an SRM6. Armus 4 fire control system, medium pulse lasers. Very nice. MB, I think, was more of a, I don't know, less satisfactory build. At least in my opinion. Okay. Any good parts down here? Well, not really. Backshot rifles are funny, but you know, like they're basically King David Gausses on the battle armor, so you know, it's very small tonnage. That could add up pretty well on some sort of close combat mech. I might have to give that a shot at some point, especially the 4 evasion pips ignored. If I can get maybe a medium mech with lots of support slots, I mean, hey, jam on a fire starter, and well, instead of heat, you'll just be dishing out sorts of damage through evasion that light mechs can't take, so make a decent light mech hunter. Anyway, we're gonna hope for enough Orion parts to make this worthwhile. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We shouldn't need that one. We should need any one of these, so it can be any one of the, well, it can be the only one MA or any of the only one MB parts that we pick up at random. Pretty high chance of success there. Of course, now having said that, we've probably cursed it. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 0 of the MB parts, but we did pick up the last of the MAs. So that'll be out in the mech bay real soon, and we'll get it up on the board. Thank you all for hanging around. See you again real soon.